Welcome back to the Late Late Podcast. I'm your host, Mase, in real life. I'm here with Jodi, Miss Jodi. I've been using Miss a lot, or Mister, in the start of the podcast. Yeah. So how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just got done work, so living.
That's good stuff. I had you message me. I put a thing out recently, right? And you were one of the ones that messaged and said, "Hey, look, I want to be on the podcast." And I was like, all right. Like,
I know. I was like, you put that thing out, and I was like, Jodi. And then you were like, okay, we can make it happen. I was like, what?
Were you expecting that?
No, I was like,
I might get in. I don't know. We'll see.
I was like, I'm just playing. But I was like, okay, I guess we're doing it.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to incorporate like more. I don't want to say regular people because it kind of sounds like offensive.
Yeah, I'm very far from regular.
Well,
but
I mean, in the sense of like a lot of the people that have been on here have like either fighters, like musicians, photographers, like creators and things like that. But I've worked with you a few times for photos, right? So in a sense, you're a creator because you take photos, right?
Yeah, I get out there.
Like, do you classify yourself as a model or no? No?
No, I just like it.
So what do you feel that like people need to be like to able to classify as a model?
I don't know. Like, I'm not like devoted to it as many as like other people around Fredericton or like outside of Fredericton. So like, I wouldn't want to take that label away from them. But like, I do love taking photos. I love working with you. I love putting my photos out there for people to see because like I'm like, whoa, that's awesome. But like, it's not something I do every week or every month like most people do. So I don't want to take the credit away from the people that really put work into it.
I got you. You want to just angle this down a little bit so it's like more at your. There you go.
Hello.
It should sound a little crisper now. So I got a few questions. You know, I'm going to start like, cause you read them already. So I'm going to start like randomly.
Oh no.
So we're going to start with the one that you were kind of thinking about, or it was worded differently. So like, why is it more acceptable for, men to be shamed in, if they have low standards versus women that have high standards? Like if you look at it in the sense of you have a guy that's like, will sleep with anybody. And then you have a girl that's like, oh, he needs to make 7 figures. He needs to have fancy cars. He needs to all this stuff, right? So it doesn't happen as much here, but if you're trying to think of it in like as a question aspect, not like local.
Not like personal?
Yeah.
Like, so women expect a lot, and they do. And men are very like basic in like some sense. It's just like, if people want to hook up, they want to hook up. It's like if a man wants to sleep with 100 women, let him. Who's it bothering? Yeah. Like, it's nobody's business. And then if a woman wants somebody that makes 6 figures, drives fancy cars, lives in a fancy house, don't have no kids, don't do this, 6'4", have fun finding it. And you're just gonna be disappointed. And it's just set realistic standards. If not, you're just gonna literally end up single, alone, and bitter.
This is true. And so now, let's like kind of reverse the roles then. So like if you have a like a female, right, that's like low standards, no whatever, but then you have a man that's like super high standards, like she has to have like a 0 body count, she has to have like she needs to be yada yada type thing, right? Like they're looking for like this perfect person. Do you feel like women get shamed more in the sense of like the opposite roles type thing?
Oh, definitely. I don't get why though, but it's like if a woman has like a really high body count, she's like, oh, don't touch her. She's gross. She's nasty. She's carrying. Like, stay away. And then if a man wants a woman that is perfect body, perfect tits, perfect ass, has a good job, only caters to him, does all this, it's like, oh, like why are you like subjectifying women? Like, what's wrong with you? But it's like, your standards are unrealistic. Yeah. Like, it's just like, work on yourself. Like, heal yourself because there's something going on with you that it's just like you're really grasping at stuff that's not there. Like, it's unrealistic. Yeah. But then women also should not be put down or like degraded because they want to sleep with 50 different men. Like, it's literally no one's business. As long as you're not like carrying or giving diseases knowingly or like being dirty, it shouldn't matter what women or men do. Like, it's your life. It's nobody's business who you're screwing, when you're doing it. If it's like 4 guys a day, it's kind of yucky, but like, who cares? Yeah. Like, really. So do you find that like I know the question was like, why do you think it's more acceptable for men to be shamed at like low standards? But do you find that women are shamed on that end more than men? I think it all depends, really. I think I don't know, because I've hung around. I like all my friends are basically guys, right? I got like 3 real girlfriends that I chill with. So like all my friends are basically guys. So like, and I see them, and a lot of them have a high kill count, like high. But it's also like they're the most genuine people you would ever meet. Like people I trust my life with, like such nice people. And then I've also got girlfriends that are like up there too, and it's like they're very decent people. So like it shouldn't matter what their count is. It shouldn't matter who they're with. It's like get to know somebody. Like that's why if somebody asks me what my kill count is, I'm like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
Like,
it's just a
it's
number.
not high, but it's like, why does it matter?
It's
It's
just a
literally
number,
nobody's
really, right?
business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was going to be a question. No, I'm just joking. It wasn't going to be a question. It wasn't. So yeah, you pretty much answered that one. Makes sense though. I never thought about it that in that aspect. Like, you know, the whole like you can have genuine people. Like obviously I know that you can, but I've never in the podcast sense. I guess I never thought about it. Like if you have a high kill count. I've never heard it said like that. I always heard body count. I'm old, so that's why. But no, I've never thought about it in the sense like they can still be genuine people. Obviously they can. They're people.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I think it's just more acceptable. Like women just like, I don't get it, but like people just like throwing stones at people. So it's like, it might be easier for a man to be like, hoe and sleep with 100 people and be like, oh, you're gross. Like, that's why I don't want to be with you is because of that. But that is just a reason for somebody to like not want to be with you. It's like, there's obviously other reasons, but they're just going to use that as a, oh, you've slept with a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's my reason. That's my scapegoat. I don't have to go in depth further why I don't want to keep seeing you. Like, it's just a easy target to hit.
Yeah, that's a good point. See, and you were nervous about this. Okay, so I guess that kind of moves on to the whole. Actually, I'm gonna jump around because you, like I said, you read the questions,
them, yeah.
so it's like I don't want to just go down the list because then it's too whatever. If you could tell your 13-year-old self something, right? Like now, like it could be, you know, watch out for this, or you know, do this, or don't do this, or I don't know, anything, right? It could be a deep one. It could just be something as simple as like don't eat yellow snow. You know what I mean? Like,
I think my 13-year-old self was struggling hard, so I think I would just be like, you make it, right? Like growing up, I had a really rough, it was a hard life that me and my sister lived, and it didn't get easier, and like it's still hard, right? It's still hard because like childhood trauma just tracks you wherever you go, right?
Yeah.
But 13-year-old me, I was 13 when I first tried to kill myself, right? I was a kid. So thinking back to me being 25 almost, I'm like, whoa, like if I actually succeeded, like literally I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have experienced all this joy along with loss, and I wouldn't have grown. When I was 13, I had teachers telling me like, you're never going to make it. You're going to drop out. You're going to get pregnant at 16. You're going to.
What school did you go to?
Stanley High School.
Oh,
and
man,
I had teachers literally betting on my downfall that I wasn't ever going to make it. I remember when I was like 7 years old, okay, and I grew up pretty rough. So I remember 7 years old having conversations with my uncles and then being like, where are you going to be when you're 16? I'd be like, I'll be locked up. That's a straight conversation I had when I was like 7 or 8. Oh, I'll be locked up when I'm 16.
That was your thought?
No, I had that conversation with my uncle. What are you going to do? Where are you going to be? Why does it matter where I'm going to be? I'm going to be either in jail or prison. That's from what I grew up and what I went through. That was the end goal. Like that was not an end goal, but that was like the end for kids.
It was
kids
a destination
that was
thing,
that was literally it. That's all I knew. I grew up watching my uncles, my family, my brothers go in and out of the jail system, prison system my whole life. So I thought that's all I knew, right?
Yeah.
All I knew was pain, and all I knew was that's really it. Like violence. Crime, all that was like washed into my brain at such a young age that it was like, that's my destiny. So I never thought that I'd be 25 working in healthcare, taking care of old people. I never thought I'd be 25 and graduated, living on my own with a good job. I never thought that I'd be stable. I never thought anything. I thought I'd be on welfare with 4 kids, right? That's really what, as a child, I thought it was going to be like. So for me, to be this far, and I tell my third, I'd just be like, you make it. Like, don't even stress it, you make it. You literally prove everyone wrong. Like, those same teachers that told me you're never going to be nothing, when I worked at the Dollarama up on Two Nations Crossing, they came in there and were like, oh, I'm so proud of you. And I was like, you're literally lying through your teeth. Like, you betted on me failing. And now you're just stomped in your shoes because, like, here I am,
Yeah.
not pregnant, no kids, working my ass off 24/7, trying to do better for myself, and you just don't know what to do with yourself because you literally tried to keep me down as far as you could. So it's just, you make it.
So do you feel that, like, with certain, like, I don't want to say families, what's the word? Like generations, like, you know how, like, they say there's curses on certain generations type thing? Do you feel like that was a thing and you kind of, like, just, you broke it type thing?
See, I can't say I broke it because I haven't had kids yet. So I cannot say that I broke it until I actually have kids because addiction works heavily in both sides of my family, like my dad's and my mom's. So growing up, I watched them battle. Not my dad, but mostly like my mom. She's an alcoholic. But like brothers and sisters I've watched go down the drug path. And it's like, I've never touched a drug in my life. I've smoked a little bit of weed. But I've solely committed to, I do not want to touch drugs because I don't want to risk it. And then also drinking. I used to be very heavily drink. Like I drank like probably for a year straight. Like the amount of money I've spent on alcohol is probably disgusting. Like I probably never want to see it. But I tried hard to pull out of that. And then I drink here and there, but not as much as I used to. And it's like I try now to like stop myself because I want to have kids. Like I'm working towards that. I've been going to the hospital, doctor's appointments to see if I'm able to have kids or not. And a lot of people know that, a lot of people don't. But there was a time where I was really like, I'm infertile. I can't have kids. Like I'm trying to have kids since I was like 18, right? Like I've been trying. It's not working. So I was like, it's me. So I cut the corners with alcohol where I was like, I can't do it every night because I'm going to get sucked into it. And then I'm going to have kids and I'm going to sucked into it more. And like, I'm not going to I'm not going to better myself. I'm not going to teach my kids what I didn't learn. Like growing up, I always thought like drinking, alcohol, partying, it's all that's fun. I grew up like parties at my house till like 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I had to go to school the next day. People pass out on the floors, drunk, doing this, doing that, right? I never want my kids to go through anything I went through in my life. Anything at all. I will never put my children through that. So for me to take that vow where I'm like, I will never have my kids go through or endure what I did, is I really got to step back and work on myself and be like, no drinking, no drugs. Stop going to those trap house parties. Stop getting stupid and trying to fight police officers outside the clubs. Like all that stuff had to stop. So it's a lot. So I started going to the gym, started working with Micah, my trainer. He's amazing. And it really pulled me out of all that toxic behavior that I sucked myself into. Yeah. So
that's crazy. See, like that's why I like podcasts because I get to know you a little better. Like and you know, it's, I don't know. That's kind of like the whole staying away from drugs could be hard, especially like you said. It's like your family struggled with it, right? Like your mom's side, like hard. You said, right? And like myself personally, I've never really looked at like, I know there is proof where it's like if you have addictions, it can transfer through family. Yeah. Like myself, I'm a very like I need to see proof type person.
Yeah, I get that.
Like not like actually happening, but like physical proof that like the brain, you know, will carry like stuff like that. But it's cool that you're pushing for that, and that kind of pushed towards because you were talking about trying to have, you know, like trying to get pregnant and stuff. So the relationship status, like, and I guess we'll change that relationship roles because I'll go back to that top one because that's a long that we'll go back to the top one. So like do you like, obviously you kind of already answered this earlier, but like are you a more, they call it, I think it's called a nuclear family type thing. It's in the sense of like husband does this, wife does this, kids are kids.
Yeah, so might like stir the pot a little bit here, but I'm very old fashioned. So, but like kind of new old fashioned. So mostly old fashioned where it's like, I believe the husband goes out, makes the money, does what he has to do to provide. Once their kids come along, wife stays at home or girlfriend, whatever it is. I don't really do marriage things, so whatever it may be. Takes care of the kids, makes sure the kids are good 24/7, makes sure the house is good, food, all that's good. Like that's what I grew up on, right? So it's kind of like conditioned into my head. I don't really believe in the whole like a dad stays at home 24/7 and takes care of the kids while mom does whatever they do. But that's whatever works for your family, whatever works. This is just from what I've been conditioned to. But since like it's the new old, it's a woman can go out, have a job, make her own money, man make her own money, kids go to daycare, whatever works, right? But I'm very like, when I'm in a relationship, I want to cook for a man, I want to clean for my man, take care of my man, do his laundry, fold it, put it away, do everything I got to do to make sure my man's good, and then I'll take care of myself type thing. I don't know. It's a very controversial topic because a lot of women are like, I'll do what I want. I don't need no man telling me what to do. Man's not going to chain me down. And then it's like, me, I'm like, I'll do what I want whenever I want to, but I'm also going to respect the guy I'm with, the guy I'm seeing enough to, like, not push boundaries. I'll still make sure he's good, make sure the house is clean, make sure the food's made, da-da-da. But that's only if I'm with you. Like, if we're just seeing and hanging out, I don't really care about your feelings,
I'm
right?
not cooking your food.
Yeah, like, I really don't care about your feelings if we're just chilling and hanging out. Like, it's like, that's what it is. If you're going to commit to me, I'll commit to you. But if you're not going to commit to me, then
well, it goes both ways, right? Like, you need to receive respect to give respect.
Yeah, like, if you respect me, man, bow down to you, right?
So, are you for, like biblical wise, right? Like in the Bible and stuff, it talks about like with relationship and marriage. It talks about this ain't really political. Like I know you talked about political, but it talks about like what man, my brain just decided to shut off. That's gonna butcher me. But it talks about for the woman to be pretty much the way you explained it. There's a word I'm trying to think of, and it'll pop in my head like 5 questions from now. But no, in the Bible it talks about that, like how the man is the provider and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of since then it's kind of carried on all the way, and like somewhere it just kind of decided to take off because like relationships now are kind of like
scary.
Well, not even that. It's in the sense of you might have, someone couple gets together or whatever, and if they have an issue, they don't work through it. Yeah. It's like, oh, we're done.
Yeah.
On to the next.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, and that kind of like drops it down to the bottom question I have here. So like the hookup culture. Obviously, you just pretty much answered your question. It's kind of like, what's your thought on it?
Hookup culture. I don't know. I don't do hookups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, I don't know. Maybe I've done like 1 or 2 where it's just like whatever. But like, I'm very iffy about just sleeping with random people. Like, if you do it, it's fine. I don't care. It's just like for my personal like hygiene. People are dirty.
This makes sense,
right? So I don't do random hookups. Like, I think every guy besides like 2 people I've slept with, I've dated or seen for long periods of time where it's like 3, 4, 5 months to like 3 years, right? So for me, it's like I don't personally do random hookups, right? I have dating apps.
That was at the top.
I have Tinder, stuff like that, and guys are like, "Hey, come over." I'm like, "No." Like, I'll entertain you, and then I'll ignore you for the rest of the night, right? I'm so bad for that. It's awful. So many guys hate me because of that, and it's just like, I'm sorry, I have anxiety, and I don't just want to come to your house. You might kill me. But
it's true.
yeah, like that's where we're at in 2023. Like, but random hookups, I don't like. That's what everybody does now, right? So
do you feel that's what the culture is now?
Yeah, that's really what it is. People don't date because people don't trust. If you're not trusting, it's probably my phone going off.
Okay.
But if you're not trusting, you shouldn't be dating, right? And then nobody trusts, and that's built off nothing, right? If you just start seeing somebody, you're like, I don't trust them. It's like, why don't you trust them? They've never given you a reason not to trust them. It's just where we're at in culture, where it's like,
it's easier to start here than like
automatically. I don't trust you. Don't do this. Don't do that. Give me your passwords. You can only go here. Give me your location. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Are you my probation officer?
There is a lot of relationships that like friends I know, a mutual friend we have, I guess. I'm not gonna say his name, but his last relationship was like that. Like she was like, "What are you doing? Where are you going? What's up?"
Hate that.
But then she never wanted to hang out.
Yeah.
It's like you just wanted to know, like you just want to have like power over top of them or something. It's kind of stupid. I don't know. And my cousin's relationship's like that too.
It's awful. Like my last relationship, like the last guy I was very serious with, that's where I like swore off dating. I was like, never. Next person I'm with we're just getting hitched, right? Like I'm not.
There's no dating. It's like
I'm not doing a relationship anymore because my last one was damn well awful. It was like Satan sent it up for me, right? And I chased that guy for a year.
So do you feel that like I'm trying to be like I'm very blunt when I do this. Do you feel like maybe you're chasing the wrong
Definitely.
kind of like
I definitely did.
whatever of person, because like I noticed that with like a lot of the friends that I have that are girls, they always talk about like, you know, I'm dating this person, I'm gonna try to date this person, and it's like, but you don't like that type of people.
Yeah.
Like,
See, like the guys I've dated, if you like put them in a line, they're like some of them are the same, some of them are different just by appearance, right? Because I mostly go off personality, but a lot of people lie, right? A lot of people just like tell you what you want to hear, give out vibes that you want to collect. Like my last ex was a narcissist, right? So anything I thought, somehow he knew and he was like, right? So it was like he was the perfect man to me. That's why I chased him for a year, because I was like, this is like literally like heaven sent to me. Like he likes what I like. We do everything together fine. He has the same vibes as me. We like the same music. We like the same stuff. Like same movies. We want to go to the same places. It was perfect, right? Till it wasn't. And when it wasn't, I was like, I was so deep into it. I was like, what am I doing? And it had been a year of me chasing him on and off, him jumping between me and his ex, and then me still sitting there like a lost puppy waiting for him to come back to me, right? It was awful, completely awful. And then when we finally like dated, like just us two, no anybody else on the outside. Keep in mind, I was faithful to him the whole time, and he was playing with me, right? And then we were dating for probably like 4 months, and I was like, what the hell am I doing? And I was like, actually, genuinely, like worrisome for my safety and his safety, because he went like crazy, that it was like people would check in on me like weird hours of the night, like, hey, you good, Jodi? Like, what? Like, is everything good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And then it was just he created something, and then it wasn't actually true, right? So for those 4 or 5 months, I was still trying to find that person that he first showed me. And I was like, he's in there. Like, he's in there. Really, he really wasn't. He was never there. It was just what I wanted. So he trapped me down. And for me to walk away from him, I left him, and it was like literally the hardest thing to do. Like, it was, I broke up with him over text.
Was it because you were like hoping that like maybe that person that I like is there, type thing?
That was like, it was like a week of me like thinking about it with my best friend Lisa. It was like us back and forth every single day. Every other hour I'd be like, oh, like, I love him so much, what do I do? Her being like, Jodi, do what you want to do, but this is what I'm seeing from the outside looking in. You're not happy. You're not coming. Like, I go to car shows all the time, right? I love going to the car shows, hanging out with people at Frax, Marshalls, everywhere, right? And it was, I wasn't going out. And when I was out, I was crying because he was hitting my line, like, where are you? What are you doing? You're probably cheating on me, right? So then I was getting anxious and, like, worst anxiety in my life, like, worst ever. So it was, like, a week of back and forth of me debating on leaving him or not. And then I was, like, finally, like, I was sitting with Lisa at Frex, and she was like, just do it. And I was like, all right. So I did it. And then I went over there that night. Worst choice I ever made. I went there that night, and then it was because I still had stuff at his house. So I remember setting an alarm on my phone at 4 a.m. To wake up and pack my stuff in the dark and hiding into my car, going back into the house and laying down and pretending to wake up at like 4, or not 4. 4 is when I woke up to pack, and then it was like 6 when I had to go to work. So I went late because I was like genuinely scared for my well-being, right? It was like a switch flip, like texting him when I broke up with him and then going over there. It was a totally different person I was talking to, and I was like, okay, this is worrisome. I'm anxious. I'm scared. And then, because there was like incidents before where it was like he got like aggressive and like violent, and I was like, okay, I don't play with this at all. Like, I will sock you in your face. Like, don't play me think that anything like this is going to happen. I love you to death, but I will hurt you, right? Don't threaten me. Don't try to like break stuff in the house or smash your head off walls or stuff like that, because you're just hurting yourself, and like, I'm violent, so don't test me. And then I finally left, right? And then when I left, I was fine. It was like a week and a half, no contact. It was great. It was like a weight lifted on my shoulders. Don't ask me why. But somehow I got sucked back in. I went and hung out with him. And when I did that, he flipped the switch. And it was like I couldn't breathe without him. I almost died. I went like 3 weeks without eating, spent a lot of hours in the hospital. They were going to like admit me on suicide watch. Because I wasn't eating. I was dehydrated. All I was doing was crying. I couldn't keep anything down. It was awful. And then I actually, like, I've been battling with depression since I was, like, 12 or 13, right? Never been medicated. Had to go on a bunch of medication, actually, to heal from this breakup. It was awful. Had to take 3 months off work. Ridiculous. And I was like, never again. I was like, never again. I will never date again. I will never be with anybody again. Because, Lord, if that's what it's like, I don't want no part of it. And it was just because he wanted to sleep with other women.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to date me, but sleep with other women. And he's like, you have to be
like
okay with that.
Whole open relationship.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not
polyant.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not down with
yeah.
that. I was
yeah.
like,
well,
I'm
no,
not down
like
with that.
you already said, like you're like a nuclear family type person.
Yeah,
right?
so I was like, I don't play with that. And he's like, well, this is how it'll be. It literally tripped me out so bad where I was like, okay, if you're sleeping next to me at night, you do whatever you want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is wrong with you? It's like hypnosis. It was awful. So yeah, I'm not down with the whole dating scene.
So do you find that like maybe with that type of situation with like dating, do you think if you're too much alike, like if you were saying like, oh, we like the same things, yada yada, right? Do you feel like maybe it's better for you to have differences?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's what keeps a good relationship is like differences.
See, he hated it, but I loved the fact, like my car people,
Mm-hmm.
he had nothing to do with that. He asked, right, all the time to be a part of that. And I was like, no, let me meet your friends. I was like, you can meet them, but you're not coming to hang out with us.
Yeah.
So Fridays and Sundays, I'm going to go do what I want to do with my friends that are separate from you. You go with your friends and do your thing, right? That kept us so then we seen each other. It wasn't 24/7 with each other. So like it grew. Like when you're with somebody 24/7, it's like
fire dies.
I hate you.
Yeah.
Like get away from me. Go to the other room. I don't want nothing to do with you, right? So I like to keep that division where it's like I'm gonna go with my group of people. You go with your group of people. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I can join you. You're not joining me though. I kept that very straight line, right? If you want me to hang out with you and your friends, I will. But I'm not going to offer you to hang out with me and my friends because I never wanted them to cross paths. Because I knew none of my friends would like him, for one, at all. Two, I didn't want him to like start being weird with my friends or like say stuff about me or do stuff or think that he could message one of my guy friends and try to do this or that. Like I just really wanted to keep it separate as I could so that I spent like 7 days, sometimes 7 days a week because other days he wouldn't let me go out. But like 4 or 5 days straight with him, 24/7 with him, unless I'm working with him. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, I need that escape because I'm going to not like you.
Yeah, having like something you can do separate is super important.
He never even liked car stuff. He didn't.
But he wanted to be
He
around
wanted to be there just because I was there, right? It's like, come on, get off it.
But so that answered that question. That's pretty intense. Like how you really just like went into the question too. Like most people like kind of just move around the question a little bit.
I'm pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and I like that. So, what about like OnlyFans in relationships in the sense of like, say the female has an OnlyFans, the guy doesn't, right? But the female's making content with other guys, but it's work.
See, I like that. Like, if you're with somebody and people do what they want to do. If you're comfortable with your girlfriend doing OnlyFans and sleeping with other men, who cares what other people think, right? I know plenty of women that do OnlyFans and sleep with their partner, plus whoever comes along, other content creators, stuff like that, where it's like, I'm okay with it. Like, I did OnlyFans for a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. I did. It was like a month, and then I got spooked because somebody sent the link to my stepfather.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, I'm just going to step back a little bit, and maybe I'll try it again someday, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have guys all the time message me, what's your OnlyFans? I'm like, I don't do it anymore, but like...
I got rid of it.
Yeah, like I had like a professional Snapchat and an OnlyFans where it was like... And I have my spam Instagram where I like promoted it here and there. And actually, when I left my ex, I created my OnlyFans. It was like the first week. And he's like, oh, you're doing OnlyFans now, da-da-da. Like, all this stuff. I was like, man, mind your business. Like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, right? But I'm all for it. Like, if I was doing OnlyFans right now... It would either be like if my man was comfortable with, if I had a man, if I was with somebody and they were comfortable with me being with another man, which is kind of iffy because like I also like don't like sleeping around when I'm in a relationship, obviously. Mm-hmm. But if I'm with somebody and they're okay with it, make the bag. It's all money. You see the amount of money women make off OnlyFans? Lord.
I know the amount of money because I used to help manage accounts. So.
My God, the amount of money I made off OnlyFans in 1 month, I was like,
well, see, so you promoted it on your spam?
Yeah, my spam Instagram.
Okay. So now do you feel that like because maybe all these guys were like the ones that were hitting you up, whatever, right? And they're like, when they finally seen that you had it, they're like...
Yeah, they all jumped in. I'm not even joking. It was like seconds, minutes. As soon as I posted that link it was like ding, 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 ding. And I was
So
like,
can you see like exact amount coming in?
yep.
Like at like live?
Well, like as soon as they like subscribe to it or like do the subscriptions and stuff, you can see how OnlyFans takes a lot. But you can see
it's
like
25%.
well, it's too much for my liking. You can see how much it is, like what they bought, if you bought like the 1 month, 3 months, or the 12 months, or however, I forget how much it was. Mine was pretty expensive, actually. Like a lot of girls, like I talk to a lot of content creators that I'm friends with that are like, make it cheap. And I was like, well, have you seen me? No. Like that's not happening. So like as soon as it popped up, I could see like how much they subscribed for. Plus you can post photos or videos and they have to buy them or then hit the DMs where it's like you can.
The pay-per-views and
yeah,
stuff.
like stuff like that. So it's like, it was pretty intense. And it was like, I was sitting there watching the money go up, and I was like,
This is nice.
I was like, this is lovely.
Yeah, no, some of the girls that I've shot with, I've helped manage their accounts and stuff, like just because I know marketing in the sense of like digital marketing.
Yeah.
And like there's been, you know, girls that I've worked with that have brought in $5,000 a month.
It's crazy.
And it's like,
so crazy. And I'm just like,
and see, I use Patreon and that's where I make my bank.
Yeah.
Well, I don't anymore because I really haven't shot a lot of boudoir. I'm shooting more like
I'm trying
wholesome.
to book a photo thing, but like working.
Yeah, the schedules are, they
Jeff's
don't.
got to get his damn bike fixed. Jeff, if you're listening to this, get your bike fixed.
He's putting a belt on it today.
Well, jeepers, creepers. It took long enough.
So now, okay, so I should have asked the question differently because I asked about like if, you know, the female has an OnlyFans and then they have to sleep with other content creators. I should have asked it if they just had an OnlyFans first, but you pretty much answered that. So
I think it's whatever your partner's comfortable with. Like if you're in like a serious relationship and you want to do that, or if you have been doing that, and like let's say you're already doing OnlyFans and then you get with somebody, it's like just have that adult conversation where it's like, this is what I do. Are you comfortable with it?
Okay, so in the sense of like, if you're not like, if you were to answer it not in the sense of be like, if you're comfortable with it, like how do you feel about it? Like if you had, let's say you had a boyfriend or a husband and you had an OnlyFans and you were making content, but you said you don't like sleep around. So let's switch that. If you had a husband, but your husband had a content or was making content and had to sleep with other content creators, how would you feel? Like you, not like if it's up your alley, it's up your alley. But like, how does Jodi feel about
I
that?
don't know. See, because like, I don't know. Like if it was a new thing, I don't think I'd be comfortable with it, right? Like if I'm seeing a guy and I know he does it, it's kind of like, all right, I'm seeing him, I know what he does. I don't really have a say in the matter, right? I'm going into it knowing. But like, I don't know. Like I'm not like one for like my man sleeping with women, but like every guy I dated cheated on me, right? So it's like they did it for free. You might as well get a bag from it. Like, like you might as well make the most of the situation.
I suppose, right?
Right. Like I don't know. Like I'm all about like do what you want to do. Like I don't want to hold anybody back, especially for making money. But like also it's like other women claws come out. But it's like I don't know.
I feel like myself personally, I'm a very like, I think it's unethical type thing.
Yeah, it's hard to say, right?
For both sides. Like,
yeah.
Like if you have a guy that's making content and has to sleep with other people, then it's like it's cheating. Even
like,
if it is work.
We can make content together, right?
See, then you're fine because then it's like still under the same umbrella.
Because I find like I'm like I don't like to be, but like sometimes I am a very jealous person, right? It's just natural. It comes natural. We're human. And I feel like it would cause a lot of turbulence for me personally.
Oh, it definitely
because
would.
It's like, man, like I already struggle with self-esteem issues and stuff and like all that stuff. So it's like, I'll make my eye twitch. Like I'm like, oh, like.
And see, like with the like the stuff you can do with OnlyFans now, you can use VPNs and all that to like throw your location super far away. You know what I mean? So if you started again and you were worried about like, oh well, the whole situation that happened.
My friend that actually like helped me set it all up and like was really like, hey, like this is what you do. I'll promote you. I'll do this. She said you can cut off like Canada.
Yeah.
So you can't be in Canada. But I was like, man, that's where my money is. Everybody knows me in Canada.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. See, she promoted me on her page, like her like open page, and I had so many people from there coming into mine. But it was already too late, right? Before I really understood, I didn't understand it fully when I jumped into it, to where it was like, okay, you can do this, you can do that. Everybody will see me. Everybody will be interested, right? So I had to like step in my own territory because I had guys all the time on my spam Instagram asking me about OnlyFans, and I was like, no, gross, no. And then I was like, you know what? I don't care. You're already seeing it basically on my Instagram. Like
yeah, you post pretty like
yeah, right.
What's the word?
Risky.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like Instagram allows like so far.
I've had some get banned. Don't worry.
Okay,
Yeah.
like, and I noticed that, and like, is that like you just said you struggle with self-esteem, but it does not seem like that.
It doesn't
at
seem
all.
like it, right? But
Because like you seem confident and all, and like even when we work together, you're confident. You post, your posts are confident.
yeah.
You don't just post that
Social
stuff.
media is a big lie though too, right?
It is, but it's not at the same time in the sense of like it takes a lot of courage to post.
Yeah.
It, you know, like
I just know like what I post, I'm not gonna get real negative backlash from it, right? Like
they're like, oh cool, oh
yeah,
cool.
everybody enjoys it. Most women that I like hate it, it's like, okay, what, I don't care about your opinion anyways. I didn't post it for the women. You know what I mean? Like it's whatever. And I don't know. I like posting stuff like that. I don't know where it came from, but I enjoy it.
See, it's at that sense. Like it makes sense to have an OnlyFans.
I know,
And
right?
Because you can post, like, you can have a paid account and
Yeah.
not post nudes, but
Yeah.
do like pay-per-views for nudes.
Yeah.
Right? That would make sense.
I know.
Because
I know
you-
so many people. Like one of the people like you actually did a podcast with, he sat down here one night and we were talking about it, like we were both drunk and he was like, man, if you do this, I'll promote you. Like stop wasting that stuff for free. All those guys, like they'll pay for it, da da da. And we sat there at the bar for like an hour talking about this. And like I was just like, he's like, if you do this, send me everything, I'll promote you, da da da. You'll get so much money. Like he's like, I'll manage you, da da da. And I was like,
See, that sounds like he just wants free content. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
well, he could get it anytime he wanted, but well, that's besides the point. But it was like I actually sat there with him and I thought about it and I was like, yeah, like I was like, I already did it once. He's like, yeah, but do it again and you'll go far. I was like, well, I was already going far, but it was just kind of like timing. People sending links to my family. Stuff got weird. Like me getting phone calls at like 12 o'clock in the morning. Like, what are you doing? What is
Yeah.
this? Mom, quit hitting the link, you weirdo. Like, what are you doing?
Just don't pay for it. You'll
Yeah,
be fine.
go away. And I had it set too, because I know like some of them you can like see the captions. Like you can, if you're not subscribing, you can like go through and it's either just like they post this many
just-
videos,
yeah.
this many, or you can see like captions.
Yeah, you
of
can scroll
everything.
through and it just
yeah.
says
So I had it
subscribe.
set where you couldn't see the captions. Cause I was like, I'm not playing the field. With
So
this.
you had risky words even.
Yeah, like on the captions of the pictures, but I had it set so you had to subscribe to see
I got you.
the the post
Yeah.
captions and stuff like
Like
that.
it didn't show like just the square. It
No.
showed like just at the top. It was like this many photos of
Yeah.
yada yada.
Yeah.
I got you. I'm just gonna check this to see if it's okay. You're kind of overexposed. Just a sec. There we go. It was like really bright because the sun's coming through. Okay, so I want to know, like, because by the sounds of it, you've had some people slide in your DMs. Like by the sounds of it.
Yes.
We won't talk about the one we both know because
That's the funniest.
because I told him that I wouldn't bring it up. if you know,
He knows who he is.
yeah, he does. And
He's adorable.
And I'm gonna make a clip out of this so he knows, and I'm gonna tag him secretly because you can secretly tag people so that people can't see it.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, on Instagram you can do a lot of cool stuff.
That's cool.
But no, I want the most like bizarre. Because I know you can check your phone if you want.
Yeah,
and, like,
I got some, like, I don't answer a lot, right? Like, people hit me up 24/7. I don't entertain much.
Mm-hmm.
I do have some weirdos in my requests. Let's see if I can find. So the guy that we were just talking about, I remember he DM'd me and he's like, could it be worse? And I sent him one that was like way worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to see if I can find that. I'm going to have to go through his messages for you.
So now, like, I don't know. Is it real people or is it just
this one
like,
is
bots?
yes, because this one is like he follows me, but I don't follow him. And like my Instagram, my public one that used to be public is now private because like a bunch of drama went on where I was like I don't want people constantly like because like my Jodi G _bitches was public right to everybody my open account. And then I had like some females that went wild and I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm just gonna make it private. Tired of like everybody seeing what I'm doing because I post everything on that account, right? Like everything I'm doing. So this was somebody that followed me when it was public, and then it was I made it private, and he could still see my stories and like reply to them, but it would go into my request because I didn't follow him.
Okay,
So
I
it was
got you.
like,
I got
and
you.
like I don't check my requests. So like one day I was on there and I was just like, oh jeez, what is this, right? So I had a guy, and it's a fake account, but it's a real person. So it's probably somebody I know that just came on like a fake account to message me. Probably his girlfriend or something stupid like that. But he messaged me, and this goes back to like January 2021.
Okay, so it's a hot minute ago.
And it's been like all the time. Like the most recent one he sent me was, I don't know when the screenshot was, June 18th.
Of this year.
Yeah, right? Like, it's like, man, let up. Like,
So
what
do
are
you know
doing?
who this is?
No. And it was just him replying to one of my stories. It was like a video of me, and it was like, I'd like to buy your panties, smiley face, which was like, okay, whatever. And then he replied I ignored it, right? Because I don't check my requests. And then he replied to my story, and he was like, amazing pic. Have you ever considered selling your panties? And then
Does this guy really like panties?
or just mine? Like, I don't know. Like, what are you doing? So then the most recent one was June 18th, where he was like, he didn't reply to anything. He just messaged me free willingly.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, just curious if you would be interested in meeting in some non-reciprocal oral. I'd love to worship I have all the time in the world. I'm patient and work hard. Let me know what works for you. I would love the reward of having you come all over my beard. Right?
So they have a beard.
Yeah, right. And it makes you think. It's
and
like
they work. And they what else what did it say?
Work hard. He's patient. Has all the time in the world. So it's like, if you work hard, how do you have all the time in the world? Like, good night.
Yeah, how did them two things go together?
Yeah, they don't, right? Because I work all the time, but I have no time.
And now you got me wondering, like,
Yeah, it's like, who could it be?
there's no photos or nothing?
No, nothing.
Who does he follow? Does he just follow other girls, or does he have a lot of followers?
He's following 80 people. We have two mutuals where it's like,
who's the mutuals?
my friend Alexis and my cousin Allie. Yeah.
So
he has 80 followers. He's following 419, but I can't see them because like
you don't follow him.
Yeah.
So that means that this person knows them too.
Yeah, and he knows me, and it's like everybody knows me, right? Like in reality, like a lot of people do know me or know of me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, but it's like
that's a little weird.
It's weird. I'm like, get away.
It's one of them things like, if you send me the username, I can send it to my cousin. He can find out who it is.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's that type of person.
And it's somebody from here, because in his username it says 506. So like,
what's the username? Let's blast them.
JSIN 506 J Connors.
Is that what it says?
So yeah, it's J Connors. Yeah.
Pretty gay. No,
Yeah.
no profile. Nothing.
Nothing at all. But
That's
like,
weird.
there's more than that, right? Like, there's a bunch, but it's like everybody, like even people like I follow too. Like my Instagram is like flooded.
So like, what's someone that you know personally that has messaged you? Like, I can think of one person that every time I talk about that I'm going to shoot with you, it's like, let me come, come on.
Yeah.
But now I think he's getting married, so I don't want to throw his name out there. I can't really go.
DM me it right now.
Okay.
Like, what are you talking about? I thought you were talking about the same guy that we talked about earlier.
Oh, no.
And I was like, married. Wait, what?
He's getting married.
He's getting married.
Yeah. He's a cool dude.
Oh my God. Don't even start with that one. I'm not even, I love him, but like, no.
Every time that like I would say, yeah, I'm going to go shoot with Jodi, and he'd be like, well, can I come?
Like, no.
It's like, no.
He bought your Patreon.
Yeah, he
just
did.
to see my photos. And I was like, and then he showed everybody. He did. And like all the car people, he showed them all. And I was like, stop. What are you?
There was a bunch of people that names, like, they would like try to like make their name wrong.
Yeah.
But they forget that I can see their stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, who are you? And I was like, oh, you're this person. So then like, there's like 4 over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to like throw them under the bus. I don't think whatchamacallit listens to this. He's another tall guy. They pick on him a lot. They like to take his antenna, or they used to.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
BW, if that, like, I think his last name starts with a W. I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think, because I remember.
If I say it like this, I don't know if you'll be here.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
I do love him. Every time I see him, he gives me a big hug. Like, I love him to death. I adore him. But, like, for me, it's just platonic. Like, it's just friends. I think he would probably marry me tomorrow if I let him, honestly.
No, he probably would.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the other one would too.
God, no, thank you. The other, like, I almost said his name. But, like, no, I don't. No, he's just my homie. He loves me, but I love him too, but only as, like, a bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how he is. I mean,
I seen him the other day, actually, because he calls me all the time. He's like, hey, come hang out. And, like, I'll go see him, whatever. Like, it's nothing big deal. And I saw him the other day, and something had happened, and he was like, I gave him a hug. I give him a hug every time I see him, every time I leave, right? And he was like, you're going to kiss? And I was like, no.
Was this the first one I said or the second one?
Second one. I was like,
Okay.
I was like, no. He's like, this might be the last time. I was like, well, sucks to suck. And he's like, and like walked back to his car, and I was like,
Oh,
God love him though. I love him to death. He's such a harmless guy. Like, oh my God, love him so much.
He's a good guy.
I hate when everybody picks on him, right? Like, it's so
They
sad.
pick on him all
Like,
the time.
I literally fight with so many people because I'm like, man, like, just fuck off. Like, leave him alone. Like, he'll literally leave, like, throw up, like, leave because people just won't leave him alone. I'm like, what do you get out of that? Like, what's wrong with you? And they're like, oh, and I'm like, shut up. Like, the first one that you mentioned fights with the second one. They hate each other so bad, right? So I'm sitting there and, like, the first one, like, throws stuff at him, like, drinks in his car, everything. And it's like, man, like, I'll literally pop you in your shit. Like, I'm literally going to punch you in the mouth. Stop. Like, it's ridiculous. You're grown men. Act like it. But it's just...
That's funny though.
Oh, it's awful.
Like mental health, I guess. Like that's a topic that I had someone ask me today, and I kind of want to cover a little bit about that because we're kind of rounding. We got about 9 minutes. So like ways you can deal with that, like you deal with that, not like the ways people can deal with it because there's lots of different ways, but ways that you find help that for you.
Okay, so again, like I said, like I've been battling with mental health since I was like 12 or 13, right? So back then, I went to the doctor. I did a thing where it's like, hey, I'm sad. Something's wrong. I need help. Help me. My doctor was basically like, no, you'll grow out of it. You'll get over it, right? You're just sad right now. Because the reason I was so like lost is like my friend had committed suicide, and I was lost, right? Like I was so like devastated, and he was like, you'll get over it. That's when I had went in. So it was like grade 11 where I went in, and I was like, listen, like something needs to be done. This is too much. He's like, you'll get over it. I never got over it, right? I've been sad my whole life. I'll never get over it. So I turned to like, I write music. I started off as poetry. I love poetry. I'm addicted. Like I've got like stacks of books in my house that are just all poetry books. I'm addicted to poetry. And so when I was doing poetry, it was like it leaned into me actually making songs. Because as a kid, me and my cousin Jordan, we used to like freestyle all the time and like make music and just like vibe together, right? So when I started writing poetry, every one of my poems I turned into a song. Or if I was like, I want to write a song, I'll write a poem, and then I'd see the poem, and then I'd find a beat to it, and I'd just do my own thing, right? Yeah. I've got books, like notebooks from the dollar store when I worked there, like stacks of books. I was like probably this many, like shelves. I have a shelf all for my music, so it has my mic, headphones, stands, all that in it, and it has all my books, pens, papers, everything that I need in it, and it's like a stand this high with like a bunch of shelves full of books, full of writing and stuff. Yeah. So it's like for me, it was like music. That was my coping for it when I had nothing else. Like nothing else that would help me. Doctors wouldn't help me. Psychiatrists, nothing. It was music. Music helped me. The music's not for everybody, right? But music helped me. And then as I got older, it was like I'm not doing music as much, right? So like I'm spacing out. I'm like going ballistic. I'm getting overwhelmed, overstimulated. So I was driving around, listening to music, not writing as much. Or I'd put on a beat driving, and I'd go all the way up Mac quacking around, and I'd just like vibe out, spit some bars, let it out of my system. Because I was easy, like I'm not good at communicating with it. I'm more of like I shut down or I get angry. Like when I'm upset or something hurts my feelings, I either just shut completely down without a reaction, or like I like really get worked up. So I try to shut down. I try not to let my emotions carry on, but sometimes I do. Until I got medicated. I use the word medicated because I swore against medication my whole life. I'll never go take pills. I'll never do this until I was like, I'm really like down and out. Something needs to help because nothing else is working. And I was medicated for about a year, and I recently stopped taking my medication like probably 4 or 5 months ago, where I was like, I pulled myself out. I'm doing better. I don't want to be, I told the doctor, I was like, I don't want to be meds my whole life. You might have to be. I said, will not be. that's not going to happen. I don't want to have to like depend on pills. It's not it. So now it's like the gym.
Yeah.
Right?
The gym helps a lot.
So when I got in touch with Micah, God bless his soul, I love him to death. It was literally just me like seeing a TikTok he made, right? And I seen him on TikTok, and I never knew he was from Fredericton. And then I just seen him somewhere else, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I went back in my likes like fucking forever, and I found that TikTok, and I was like, oh my God, that's the guy. So I did his like thing on his website, sent him off a referral. He followed me on Instagram. We started DMing each other, and I was in a bad car accident, so I had gotten like a $35,000 settlement. So I had enough money. I was just like, I bought a year pass for the gym. I paid for membership with him, and he really motivated me, and he taught me so much. I'm forever thankful for this man. I don't work with him anymore, but we still check up on each other. But I'm forever thankful because he doesn't even understand how much he helped me and my mental health, because I was really down and out, and I was like, nothing's getting better. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take all this and put it into something else. And I did, and he helped me a lot with that. So gym, for me personally, wonders. I'm actually going to the gym tonight. It's my first night back at the gym in like probably a month and a half. And I'm going there tonight, and I was like,
it's gonna be brutal.
I'm good. I know, man, because I used to lift so much. Like, my legs, like, I used to push like 600 pounds with my legs. Crazy weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that guy that we know that messaged me because, like, he found me because of you. He was like, let's be gym bros together, da-da-da. And I was like, I lift a lot. Like, upper, hate it. Like, he loves upper and hates legs. I love legs, hate upper, right? Like, but I'm so thankful for Micah. In the gym, I stress it. Like, I used to be, like, very gym shy, hated the gym. I hate dieting. I hate all that stuff. And Micah really, really taught me a lot and, like, really put it into my head where it's like, if you want a good body, if you want to feel good, you got to eat good. You got to treat yourself good, right?
It's 90% of it.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it really helps me. Like, it really helps my mental health.
And even, like, just, like, the eating aspect can help a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're eating, like, greasy, heavy foods, you're going to feel greasy and heavy. If you eat light, greeny foods or light whatever, you're going to feel like, okay, well, this is nice, you know, like I feel refreshed, whatever, right? I stopped going to the gym after I stabbed myself. Yeah. So I have to work my way back into it.
It's hard, right?
It is.
Like, I went to the gym. I took I think it was like 2 weeks off when me and Micah stopped working together. Because I was like, man, I'm lost. Like, when I stopped working with Micah, I was like, what do I do, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going in there like a fish out of water. And I was like, So I took like a week or two off. And then when I went back, like, and then like start of the third week, I was like, I hate my life because I can't lift like I did before. And I was like, what am I doing? This is awful. So, like, going back tonight, I know it's really gonna me. But I love the gym, so I'm so excited, but I'm so nervous. But it's like, I'll get through it.
I think the whole, like, going back part it's all a mental game.
It is, because in my head, I'm like, they're going to see me and be like, where have you been? You've been slacking. That's what's been scaring me going back to the gym. It's like, because I know everybody there, right? Like, all the workers and stuff, I go to Naturally Fit. Mm-hmm. So it's very, like, community, right? So it's like, I'm going to see her. I know she's just going to be like, oh, my God, how you been? But in my head, I'm like, she's going to know I've been slacking. Like, she's going to know I've been cutting corners. But.
So I think the whole, like, going and thinking that.
It's hard. It psychs me out.
Like you said, you struggle with, like, you know, like, mental health and stuff, and I think that's part of it, right? Is the whole, like, I'm held back type thing.
Yeah.
I've just learned how not to care anymore. Like,
see, I care and I don't, right? Like, I'm a big, like, act like I don't give a shit about anything.
But you really do.
And I'm in my head thinking about everything, like, make myself puke because I'm so anxious. But it's like, I don't care. Like, if you know Jodi G, she don't give a shit about nothing. But
she's hardcore.
Yeah, I'm fucking, like, I'm about, like, gang shit. But, like, in reality, I'm like, I'm just a little girl from Fredericton. I grew up in Stanley. Like, yeah, literally, right? Like.
So, anything you want to add? Any, like, you want to give a shout out to anybody or anything you want to add?
Not really, no. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. I'm going to make that just a clip.
Hi, Lisa.
That's all it's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, I really enjoyed having you on. You had lots of good say. Like, I went into this, like, I was like, Jodi could be either one of two ways. She's going to be really, really blunt, like I always thought you were.
Yeah.
And you are, but you're not as blunt as, like, people think you are.
No, I'm very, like, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
See, when we shoot together, I can tell now that I hear you in this type of environment, right?
It's different. I got my clothes on.
Yeah. Well, that and the fact that like you don't sound nervous.
Yeah.
Right? And like, I mean, obviously it's kind of nerve wracking when you're.
I was so nervous. I've been so nervous since last night.
Oh, but really, you're still nervous?
Not anymore, but I obviously not anymore, but like.
So was I right?
Night,
was I right about the whole like after a couple minutes you're like, oh, this is just
fine.
a chat.
Yeah, it was fine, but I was like, texting my sister like, what am I gonna do? She's like, it's fine. I'm like, it's not fine. Like, it's not fine. I need to know everything that's happening. Like, I need to like have a list.
So you were like, we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
But, so, yeah, no, I really enjoyed having you on. You had lots of like really, really like deep stuff to talk about. I guess. The list wasn't really if I didn't have to go out and eat, obviously the podcast would be longer.
That's fine.
But no, well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yes,
We'll have to get photos done soon.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. We'll have to figure out dates because, like you said, work is kind of like
it's
this.
crazy.
Just lucked out. This just lucked out right here. Yeah. That's telling us
to shut up,
to get off the mic. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. Check out Jodi's if you want. You want to give your Instagram, you can. If you don't,
it's just JodiG_bitches,
and they'll be able to find that through mine. Honestly,
I like every one of your posts, so like I'm there.
Make sure to go follow my personal at Mase in Real Life, and also check us out on YouTube now, Mase in Real Life on there too, and obviously the Late Late Podcast Instagram page. And well, thank you guys. Have a awesome rest of the night.